Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. I'm here today to tell you about some makeup I wished I hadn't purchased. Wished? Wish. It's present tense. All right, so I have seen Samantha March do these. I know that she does them. I'm sure other people do too. She's kind of a trendsetter in the community. I feel like she comes up with really solid ideas, and then other people like to piggyback off of those. I am other people in this instance. So without further gabbing, let's just go ahead and get started. I've got just a smattering of products in front of me. So here we are. Okay. Let's go with foundation first. I feel like foundations are hard because what works for one person really does not work for another person. It's not like eyeshadows where it's just like, that's just a bad formula. It's truly, I think a lot of it is based on skin type with foundation. So just take this with a grain of salt. But for me personally, the IT Cosmetics CC cream did not work out for me. Now I feel terrible because I recommended this to my mother-in-law, that, you know, we went to Ulta and she was wanting some ideas of things that would work for her. And I thought maybe this would be a good match. And maybe it was. I honestly don't know. I should ask her. But for me, it just hasn't worked out. Also, when I recommended it to her, I had tried it a few times and thought that it looked really nice because upon initial application, it does. And sometimes I don't have a very discerning eye when I'm wearing makeup. Like I'm not always constantly looking at my face, like looking at it through the lens of, I want to review this product for other people. You know what I mean? But when I really stop and look at this, what I notice is it just sits on my face. It doesn't ever set down. So it transfers really bad. It ends up being very patchy and weird after just a couple hours of wear. So I do have two shades. I have fair and medium. I needed light and they didn't have it. Why on earth? And I think I initially started with fair, tried this and I liked it just fine. Thought I did. Like I said, hadn't really been too discerning with it. Went back and grabbed medium because the light was too light. That's why I have two. It's a long story for no real reason. But yeah, this just hasn't quite worked out for me. I'm wondering, I kind of want to get rid of it, but it was like, I mean, they're what, $39.50 a piece? This is like $80 worth of foundation. I need to find a way to use it. Maybe I just need to use a very small amount and go like really sheer it out and then really set it down with powder. I don't know, but I'm the type of makeup wearer who doesn't necessarily want to commit a ton of time and effort into things. Sometimes that's fine. Other times not so fine. You know what I mean? Like if I need to buy other products to make a product work, it makes me think that maybe it's just not a great product. Although, but then again, with foundation especially, usually it's pretty common to need setting powder and sometimes setting spray to get it all to work together. So disregard what I just said. But anyways, I stand by what I said about this. This doesn't work as well as I had hoped. And I definitely regret spending $80 freaking on that. I would have regretted spending $39.50 also. So just so we're clear. Okay, next, Tart Shape Tape. I mentioned in a recent video when I talked about getting the creamy formula of this, how much I despise Shape Tape. It makes my under eyes look so crepey. Definitely, it adds like 20 years to my under eyes. It's not a good thing. I am 35 years old. I want to take time off. Not that 35 is old, because it really isn't. I don't feel old. But point is, I certainly don't want to be adding years to my under eyes, to the appearance of them. So this was a no-go for me. I want to say it's like, is this $28? I don't know why I'm sharing the prices. I think because that plays into things that I regret spending money on, right? That would make sense. Like if this was a $5 drugstore concealer, I'd be like, it's fine. I don't care. I'll use it as an eye base. But $28 for a concealer that makes me look like I'm 55? No thanks. Don't want it. Next, this Nars Blush. First of all, It's just a standard blush. Second of all, it has hard pan on it and I have not used it that much. Third of all, it's expensive. These are 30 something, right? Also, Nars isn't cruelty free anymore, so this has been sitting around for a while. And then fourth of all, the name. It's called Deep Throat, for Christ's sake. It's just tacky. That's tacky. I don't know. Maybe you're into that, and that's fine. You do you, boo. But I feel like when brands use such overt sexual like names in their product lines, it makes you wonder about the quality of the product. It really does. Like, it's okay. Why do they have to incorporate shock factor? Right? I don't know. That's just where my thinking goes. Like, if they have to use the shock value, then maybe it wouldn't sell on its own. But anyways, it's just a standard blush. This was one of the situations where I fell into the hype. I think I had heard YouTubers talk about this and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get that blush. And so I did, and I've used it a handful of times. It already has hard pan. It's fine. It's not incredible. Meh. Not my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Okay, next, this hourglass thing. This is a quad. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpture Unlocked. Another thing contributing to how I feel about these products, for some of them, is the hype factor. Sometimes things are so hyped up, and then you get them and you realize that they're just a run-of-the-mill product. They're not going to give you a new face, regardless of what YouTube tells you it's going to do. Not that anyone literally said that, but people talk about these hourglass shadows. These are not shadows. They look like eyeshadows, because the pan size is so small. These are face powders. So you've got, what is this one? Hang on a second. I'll tell you what's in it. Maybe. So you got the soft light finishing powder. The bronzer is golden bronze light. The blush is mood flush, and the metallic strobe powder and champagne strobe light. So I will say this highlight is really pretty. The thing that I think I was most bummed out about, well, first of all, the pan size is so small, like I should have known. It makes me not want to use it, right? Like it's stressful. I find it stressful trying to fit my big old brush into these teeny little pans. But also this face powder, I don't notice it doing anything differently than my e.l.f. What is the glowy powder by e.l.f.? Hang on, I got my makeup right in front of me. Where you at? Okay, the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. Like, this is just as good as this. I just don't notice. It doesn't wow me. I don't know. And the products are fine, but they're just, the pan size is tiny, and I knew that going in that was going to irritate me and it would cause me to probably not use it, but it was on sale, so I picked it up. At least I got it on sale, right? But I don't know. And I'm not saying it's a bad product. It doesn't live up to all of the hype that it gets. So that, combined with the pan sizes being so tiny, is the reason why I wish I didn't have it. I wish that I had just purchased their full-size products. Like their Mood Exposure Blush. I want that. I do want that. I don't care about the bronzer. I would like to try one of their powders. I don't know if this one is the right one for me, though. Maybe Dim Light would have been better. I have no idea. But, yeah, I wish that I had just spent the money and purchased the couple of things that I truly actually wanted, because this was very much it's on sale. I've wanted to try Hourglass regardless of what it was, sort of thing. It was impulse buy is what it was. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess this one, honestly, the more I'm talking about it, I regret it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I really regret it. You know, it could be worse. Like this one. Okay, this is the Dose of Colors Smoky Soiree palette. This is not my color story. I don't know why I got this. So they released this one and then like this other one. I don't remember the name of the other one, but it was like a grungy sort of green, khaki, like more wearable for me. Definitely more in line with what I liked, but I decided to get out of my comfort zone, try something different. There's a reason why those comfort zones are there, man. Sometimes you just don't want to use something different. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want your comfortable, wearable colors. This is not it for me. I think the formula is probably fine, but I purchased this when I was home on maternity leave thinking that I would film a review and get it up in a timely manner when I had a newborn. No. So I truly bought this for the review and because I was just excited. It's exciting when Dose of Colors releases something, at least for me. But I would gladly take the $29 that this cost back. I think it was $29. So I think it's fine. It doesn't have a transition shade. And I'm never, ever using this. I have not used it. I should probably make myself use it, but I just, for whatever reason, can't. All right, the final product that I have in front of me is this Melt Blueprint palette. As you may recall, if you watched my declutter, this did not survive the declutter. At least I don't think it did, but then it ended up back in my drawer. So I need to go back and look at my footage and figure out what on God's green earth I did with this. Did I pull it back out? I don't know. I have no idea. I remember decluttering it and then I saw it in my drawer and I was like, I don't know why that's there. So if you picked up on that in the Shop My Stash that I posted after my declutter and you're like, what the hell? Your guess is as good as mine because I don't know. I don't know what happened. What I will say about this is the shimmers are really pretty. They truly are. I regret purchasing this though because I don't really wear blue. I do, but I don't. Like sometimes, but not enough for a full-on, it's not a full-on blue palette, but like a, half blue palette. And for the price point, I want to love a palette that costs nearly $50. You know? The mattes are also a total bummer. There's only 2. They're patchy. Again, there's no transition shade for me. I have done some really pretty one and done looks, like with this shade here. It was really gorgeous, and maybe that's why I pulled it back in. I don't know. But I definitely wish that I hadn't spent the money on it because it just wasn't necessary. The things that I enjoyed about it were a few of the neutral shimmers, and then this shade here, this like light blue shimmer. I thought that was really pretty, but is that enough to justify the price? No, it isn't. So that was just one thing. Yeah, if I could go back, I wouldn't have purchased this. Okay, you guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Those were just a handful of products that I probably didn't need to purchase, but those are the ones that I had the most concise, like the strongest feelings about. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I hope that you come back. I try to upload 2 to 3 times a week. I'm very non-committal about it though, I will tell you that. So just subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you are notified when I upload if you enjoy my content, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.